Today we're going to be discussing a citation that the Illinois Department of Public Health recently issued to Alden Courts of Shorewood Nursing Home after a resident there broke both tibias in a fall. My name is Barry Doyle. I'm a lawyer in Skokie practicing nursing home abuse and neglect work throughout the state of Illinois. I'm also the author of Built to Fail, a free report available for download from my website, which spells out how the nursing business model inevitably produces unnecessary injuries and deaths for nursing home residents. So the Illinois Department of Public Health did issue a citation to Alden Courts after a resident there suffered fractures to both tibias in a fall while being transferred from her bed to a wheelchair. Alden Courts had filed with the federal government a document called a minimum data set, which certified that the resident at issue required the assist of 2 staff members for transfers. The minimum data set is a significant document in a nursing home case because it's supposed to be based on a full assessment of a week's worth of activities by the resident, and it's a certification that's done under oath by the nursing home to the federal government that this is in fact the level of care which is being provided by the resident. The minimum data set in the end forms part of the basis of the reimbursement for the nursing home from the federal government or other payers. So in essence, when the nursing home is certifying that higher levels of care are being provided, they are being reimbursed more money. So the significance of the fact that this resident is being coded as 2-person assists with transfers is an indication that this is a very resident who requires a very high level of care, and accordingly the nursing home would be receiving a higher level of reimbursement for this. What happened the day of this particular accident is that the resident was being transferred by a single aide, not 2 aides as was being certified in the minimum data set. The aide was attempting a pivot transfer from the resident's bed to her wheelchair. A pivot transfer involves putting a gait belt around the resident's midsection, lifting them up out of bed using the gait belt, and then pivoting them into place in the wheelchair. What happened during this transfer is that the gait belt began to slide. The resident began to lose their balance. Her legs gave out. The aide attempted to break the fall by reaching out and grabbing the resident by the pants, but the resident's pants tore, and the resident had to be lowered to the floor with her legs tucked underneath her. In the process of doing this, the resident broke both tibias, in other words, the weight-bearing bones in the lower legs. Ultimately, she had to be taken to the hospital, and both the legs were placed in immobilizers until the fractures healed. So, generally, the resident's care plan is going to reflect the levels of care that are indicated on the minimum data set. Care plans are generally something that needs to be communicated to the staff that is in fact charged with delivering the care to the resident on the floor. There has to be a process in place for doing that, and this aide told the state surveyor when she was questioned about the facts of this fall was that she had been doing this type of pivot transfer by herself involving this resident on a regular basis because the resident was able to do that, which is an indication that that the nursing home was being reimbursed for care which wasn't being provided, and that there was some breakdown in the care planning process in that the care which is indicated on the minimum data set wasn't being communicated to the staff on the floor. In the end, this is something that led to this resident's fall and the fractures because she wasn't receiving the care that she required for safe transfer. You had two people doing you had one person doing a 2-person job, and that's often an indication of a nursing home that's actually understaffed as well as not providing the care that the resident requires. These are things which inevitably lead to resident injuries, and this is just the kind of accident that I describe happening in my report, Built to Fail. I hope this has been interesting. Thank you for watching. My name is Barry Doyle. If you have any questions regarding this or any other nursing home abuse and neglect matter, please feel free to reach out to us. Our phone number is 312-263-1080, or we can be reached on the internet at www.accidentlawillinois.com. Thank you for watching.